Happy 2025. I'm Kasey Stone with Clerestory Design, and we are starting the new year off with a quick little project. Hopefully it will be quick. My sweet neighbors down the street, the week before Christmas, discovered that they had a dishwasher leak. It had caused a lot of damage, but we have taken care of all of the mediation, and now we're ready to put this kitchen back together. Let me show you. Okay, so the dishwasher was right here, right where that seafoamy spot is on the wall. And they had recently put down an LVP, and somehow the water from the dishwasher, we don't know if it was a water line or a drain or the actual unit, something was leaking, and they didn't see puddles because it was going between the LVP and the hardwoods that were underneath that dishwasher. And you can see once they discovered it, how far the water had moved. There's also, it's not just in the kitchen, there's this pantry bonus room. The water went under this wall and into this room. So this was completely saturated as well. As was, somehow the water went that way and was in this laundry room. So this got even more damaged. They had to cut the sheetrock there. Turns out it was okay. The insulation was fine, but we've got a lot of work to get it back together. So originally I was going to do the whole job, but I quickly realized that we were in over our head and I didn't want to take any chances on mold. There was mold on the floors, there was mold on the floor joists, there was mold under the cabinets. So I reached out to some colleagues at Accelerated Mitigation, and they came in and quickly took care of everything. So we feel that everything is nice and safe. All of the mold has been taken care of. It has all been dried out. We are ready to start putting it back together. So they were so careful in removing the cabinets, removing the countertops. They protected the backsplash. There's like 2 pieces that came loose that we're gonna have to touch up. But we are ready to start putting it back. Now, there was a little bit of water damage to the cabinets, so we're gonna work on that. And there's a few areas that we just don't feel like we were able to clean enough. So we're gonna replace this piece here where it delaminated and probably replace that back panel as well. Don't wanna take any chances on mold, but they're good quality cabinets. So they carefully took them out. We're gonna carefully put them back, then put the countertops back, then refix the tile. Of course, before we do all that, we've got to build up a subfloor and then put down the LVP. Thankfully, that is still available. So maybe a couple week job, but we're gonna get it knocked out so that they can move back home. So this is like a 2, maybe 3 week project. We are gonna try to knock it out as quickly as we can so that this sweet family can move home. Sadly, they weren't here for Christmas. They were displaced for Christmas, but we're gonna get them back in here as quickly as we can in the new year. Follow along. So the guys have been busy at work and we are ready to start putting down some plywood, but let me tell you what we did first. We're gonna look through here. So there were a few boards where the water had gotten to them and over time they weren't in the best condition. If you look down in there, we sistered up some 2x4s and some 2x6s where we needed them, and then put in some additional screws anywhere where our subfloor was loose. We're gonna do the same thing right over here where that's a little loose, where they cut for the ductwork. There's another one that needs a little something. Originally, I thought that we were gonna have to lose this subfloor due to the leak. And I'm so glad that they were able to preserve this and dry it out, because you guys know they don't make it like they used to. So we're gonna find a few more weak spots, reinforce those, and then we're gonna be ready to put down the plywood subfloor in here. All right, we got another new year with Gio and Jesus. Gio's cleaning up, and Jesus has put down that first piece of plywood. We are going to liquid nail and use screws, but we're gonna make sure we've got a nice fit first. So these guys are moving right along, 3+ pieces down. They just came out with this handy little trick. So normally we'd get it in place, we'd stand here and we'd bang and push it into that piece. It's tongue and groove. We want it to grab a hold, but they couldn't do that without banging this wall up. So they put this 2x6 down, screwed it to the floor nice and solid, and then they banged on these shims. They hammered these shims into place so that that seam would be nice and tight. So then they'll just move that and do the same thing here. And now we're gonna nail them down. All right, so Jesus is coming in with the next piece. This side was a pretty easy cut. That side had a gas line, 2 water lines, a drain line. So this one won't have anything we need to notch around. All right, so we have another piece ready to go down. We're doing a little bit of liquid nail. And we'll give it a shot. We're confident it's gonna be a perfect fit. Looks perfect to me. Pretty tight fit. Good morning, everyone. It's day 2 of putting this kitchen back together. They worked pretty late last night, got a few things done. Let me show you what we're up to. So you saw they were putting down this first board in this pantry. They got a lot of this done. We still got to do a little piece right over here. But this room is almost done. Almost done with the plywood in here. And they have moved their attention into the laundry room. Let me go show you that next. Getting ready to put down this big piece. Using lots of liquid nail. And through the magic of internet, these last 3 little pieces are in. Gio has just finished up the laundry room. He is working on another project in there, and Jesus is starting a new project in the kitchen. Let's go take a look. All right, so the plywood is down, and we are turning our attention to other projects. Gio is going to start working on the sheetrock in this laundry room. I showed you that they cut the sheetrock all the way around to check for dampness, but there's also some pretty rough looking patches on this wall. So I think, Gio, correct me, are we just going to cut a new big piece there instead of trying to do all those little patches? Yeah. So he is marking off where he's going to cut, and we're just going to put a new piece in there. While Jesus is turning his attention to the cabinets. So this is and was the sink cabinet. It was right beside the dishwasher, and it had the most mold damage. So the cabinets have all been treated, but that just doesn't look good. So we're actually going to replace the back, the bottom, and the toe kick in this cabinet. The mold has been treated, and so it's stained, but it's not living mold. But just to be safe, we want that to look better. So while we're working on this kitchen, I thought you might find this interesting. First of all, there's this amazing backyard, but if we look in the backyard and we zoom in, that, my friends, is the Hyatt house. We're looking at the back of the Hyatt house. That is the chimney for the fireplace that's in Mrs. Hyatt's parlor and the upstairs non-primary bedroom. So we are not far. We are right here at the Hyatt house, but instead we're working on this precious house It really does have an amazing backyard. All right, so that's a wrap on another busy day in the kitchen project. We will name this project before we're done. But for now, it's just a kitchen put back together. So anyway, that's a wrap. We'll be back tomorrow and we will be moving on.